Maria, thank you for coming to us. And as I understand, it's not only Maria, it's Maria Monica.
Yes.
Which is a standard way in Colombia to address people with two first names, right?
Yes, it's quite common.
Because my Spanish is terrible, you have two more names, right? What are the last two names you have?
My dad's last name, Gutierrez, and my mother's last name, Jaramillo. Maria Mónica Gutiérrez Jaramillo. That's my name.
Welcome to our studio.
Soy como el vuelo del pájaro que va volando de flor en flor. Llevo en mis manos mi corazón. No hay otra forma para decírtelo.
We just recorded one of your songs from your album, I think that I can pronounce. It's Montañera, and it's the opening song from an album you did in 2020.
Yes.
Is it still right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a bit about that song.
I was having a period of my life where I was struggling a bit, and then I made this song, and it was almost like if I had done it for my own self, telling me like, everything's gonna be okay, everything is gonna pass. Although you don't think, everything is gonna pass and the sun is gonna come out again. Something like this. So it's a very happy, joyous song.
Brilliant. And how would you say it has come out today, playing it with the band? Because on the album, I think it's an electronic produced track.
Yeah.
And now we've done it with the Masterlink Sessions band today. And so how would you compare the two?
I absolutely love playing in this type of format with it today, actually. A more acoustic format, which is what I've always done. But now I've been exploring this more electronic sound. And I don't know, I think it sums so much to the song because it gives it more dynamic, it's more alive. Although I love the electronic track.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
this version is like, yeah, it's more alive, you know, because obviously we're all communicating and creating a dynamic and like a curve and everything. I feel that our version today really feels like the sun is coming out, like it, you know,
Yeah.
like it actually makes you feel a little bit like that.
I'm super pleased the way it came out because it's a journey. It's not like a regular pop song, which is also great, but this with the band, it had like sort of this organic growth.
Y amanecerá, y amanecerá, y amanecerá, amanecerá, y amanecerá, y amanecerá, y amanecerá, y amanecerá.
I'd like to also ask you about maybe a little more about Colombia, because for us it was a first today, having an artist from Colombia, which is great. So thank you again for coming and playing with us. What is it like for musicians in Colombia? I mean, it's a very broad question, but what is the life of a professional musician in Colombia like?
Well, there are loads of professional musicians right now in Colombia. It's amazing the huge amounts of bands and solo projects and orchestras that you can find in Colombia, everywhere in Colombia actually. But it's quite tough to be a professional musician.
Tough meaning like financially tough?
Yeah,
like to make a living from it?
financially, yeah, because although many make a living out of being a professional musician, the genres that actually give you to make a living in Colombia are very limited, right? So reggaeton, vallenato, like this type of genres are the ones that are actually very like financially, you know, abundant, let's say. And the rest of us, which don't do these genres, it's a bit harder to be a professional musician. But I think the scene and everything, it's growing, and people are getting more interested in Colombian music. Like Colombians are getting more interested in Colombian music.
Okay.
And also outside, I think, like the eyes are focusing a little bit more in what's happening in Latin America. So that's always good.
You know, like I'm from Austria in Europe, and it's it's a custom habit for Austrian musicians to travel around Europe. They will play in Switzerland, they will play in Germany, then Italy, and the same for British musicians. They will travel in Europe. It's one of those things to do. So for Colombian musicians, is it a thing that you might go to Argentina or Chile, Venezuela, and to go and play in those other countries, or is this not such a thing? Because here it's a normal thing to travel, because obviously it's also much closer together, obviously. But what's that like?
No, it's not really a thing. You either go to live to another country, so there are many Colombian musicians who just go to live to Brazil, Argentina, or Venezuela, I don't know, and they make their careers abroad. But no, it's not actually a thing. Maybe you go on tour to play, but you know, like on very specific tour dates, and go back to Colombia, because South America is huge, and then it's also not very good connected. You have to fly pretty much if you want to go anywhere. So yeah, no, I would say it's more like segregated, I guess. Like,
oh, interesting. And so would you say like there are like for example Argentinian acts that are completely unknown in Bogota?
Oh yeah.
And it's like bands that are really doing well. Are not known at all.
Yeah.
So what's it like with radio? Is the radio playing local music, or how does it work? Or is it playing, what should I imagine there?
Sadly, radio plays mainstream UK music, US music, just pop music, mainstream pop music pretty much. There are some very specific radio stations that play local music. And then you have the others, like these radio stations that play like the top songs worldwide, Billboard songs and these type of things. That's the vast majority of the radio in Colombia.
Oh.
So yeah.
That makes me sad a little bit. I thought, there would be like more support for the national music, for the local music, rather like national.
Yeah. I think what happens also is the audience is sadly not very interested in local music. Audience are just more interested in consuming mainstream music. So that's what gets on radio. And of course, loads of reggaeton, loads of vallenato, and local, not traditional music, but popular music, local popular music, which is different to indie rock and this type of.
So you mentioned reggaeton a few times, and I'm sorry, complete hidden here. I don't know what reggaeton is. Is this classic?
No.
What is that?
Reggaeton is you haven't heard reggaeton. I'm sure you've heard reggaeton.
Well, I might have heard it, but not know the label of it. So could you explain it, please?
No, it's like dancing music, like Caribbean, African beats, but with I don't know, like that dancing.
So it's like club music. Like
club music, but Latin club music, right? Not UK club music. That's another.
And is it played, or is it electronic, or it's a mixture like anything? Or
it's electronic. It's electronic.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'm not the only one who's learned something now. But Leo, do you know about reggaeton? No, sorry, you say reggaeton.
Reggaeton. Nope.
There you go. So I'm not the only one.
I'm sure, like Dua Lipa has done reggaeton songs, I'm sure you've heard reggaeton.
Okay,
reggaeton is conquering the world. So I'm sure you've heard
reggaeton.
They
haven't found me yet.
I'm sure you've heard it.
Well, thank you for explaining that. And so in coming back to your music, so musically, what's next for you?
I'm working on a new album as a soloist, so as a Montañera, which is gonna be, I'm very interested in ambient music, so I want to explore more that sonority, like maintaining the song format, which is what I do, but mixing it a lot more with ambient music, electronics and ambient music. So that's what I'm doing now by myself, and then I'm going to release very soon a new EP with one of my bands, which is called Sagan, my band. Which is completely electronic. So it's a very nice music, and
not reggaeton.
not reggaeton, although I really like reggaeton. There's really nice reggaeton.
Okay.
Really bad reggaeton and really nice reggaeton.
Like
yeah,
anything
like
in
everything.
music, yeah.
And so yeah, those are the plans. Releasing, keep on making music. Yeah.
Great. And we certainly will add to it when we release the wonderful version of your song that we did today.
Looking forward.
So people, watch out for that because it's going to be brilliant. It's going to be different. It's going to be wonderful. Maria Monica, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me. An honor to be here and with these great musicians. Thank you.
Great.